You know, it just feels like the Kyler Murray era ended today. Not officially, but man, it just feels like we might not see K1 in a Cardinal uniform again. Like I said, at least that's what it feels like. Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. If you're already part of the squad, hey, appreciate you being one of those day ones riding with us. If you're new here, smash the like button, smash the sub button, especially smash the sub button. It really helps with the channel. And the more we grow, the better content we'll be able to bring you guys every single day. Red Sea, let's get right to it. All right, news of the day, if you're a Cardinal fan, was Kyler Murray headed to IR. That is right. We're coming off a wild Monday Night Football win over the Dallas Cowboys. Statement victory that has the Red Sea buzzing. Bird Gang is loving it. Not just because of the upset, but because of what happened after. Jacoby Brissett, cool, calm, composed, led the offense to another solid showing. Kyler Murray, now officially on injury reserve, meaning he's going to miss at least the next 4 weeks. And Jonathan Gannon, well, his words after the game have opened up one of the biggest QB storylines in the NFL right now. So, right after the Cardinals' 27-17 win over the Dallas Cowboys, Gannon hit the podium and praised Brissett's performance, saying, quote, "I thought he played well. He battles. He's resilient. He's gotten us out of a hole a couple of times," end quote. That is coach speak for dude has earned it, right? Brissett has thrown 6 touchdowns, just 1 interception, and he's averaging nearly 290 yards per game since taking over. He's been a steady hand this offense desperately needed, right? Now he's not a magician. He's not doing crazy stuff. He's not, pulling, Kyler Murray early in his career, type of plays. But the real shocker came 24 hours later. Kyler Murray to injured reserve. Now, shocker is it's a strong word for that, but let me explain. It's not season ending, but still a move that says we're rolling with Jacoby for a while. So here's the fascinating thing. Just a week earlier, Gannon was adamant that Kyler was still his guy. When asked at the post-game press conference in Dallas whether Murray would remain the starter, Gannon cut the question off mid-sentence. Literally didn't even let him finish it. He said, "Yeah, nothing's changed on that. That's how I feel." Then a follow-up was, "Can Jacoby do anything to win the job?" And Gannon just repeated himself, "Nothing has changed," right? Less than 48 hours later, everything changed. Murray's now on IR, and Gannon said Brissett prepares the same every week. And so, and he's also said that the offense is in a good place right now and all this other stuff, which is great. Which is a translation of all that I just said was this is Brissett's team for now. And really, he's earned it, right? Jacoby's our ultimate professional. You can hear in every answer he gives. When asked why the offense suddenly looks alive under his command, he didn't take the bait. He goes, "I don't think it's me. Good teams find a way to get better. That's what we're doing." That's leadership. He doesn't throw teammates under the bus. He doesn't make excuses. Since he took over, the Cardinals are averaging 25.7 points per game, up 5 full points from the Murray-led offense earlier in the year, and they're converting on third down, which we haven't been doing at all until now. They're finishing drives. And Brissett's mobility, his QB sneaks, his pocket awareness, look, Drew Petzing, he's making Drew Petzing's offense work. It's really odd. I still don't like Drew Petzing. I still think he needs to go, but I mean, it's working for now, so I guess we'll see what happens. Now let's talk timing. The move to put Murray on IR it came right after a report surfaced from Adam Schefter that the quarterback could miss 4 to 8 weeks with that lingering foot injury that he has. But Murray practiced last week. Like we saw that, right? He traveled to Dallas. He was listed as limited, but he was. So they were saying he was going to start until Gannon changed course, right? And that's where things kind of get messy. Is this a medical decision, or like I said yesterday, a soft benching, right? Schefter's tweet made it sound medical, which sure, but other insiders came out and hinted that it's also strategic, a way to buy more time, avoid the controversy, and keep the hot hand in Brissett. And that's what I think is happening here. Because let's be real, if Murray goes out there at 75% and struggles and re-aggravates the foot, you just kill this trade value in the offseason. And you only have one shot really to trade him this offseason. Otherwise, you got to keep him, right? Or cut him and eat the dead money, which would be even worse. The Cardinals now have won they won, one of the last 3, obviously, or last 5 or 6, whatever. Look, it's crazy what's going on right now, right? But the offense looks balanced now, and the locker room seems confident. It's a different locker room. You don't have to be in there to feel it. You can see it in the players, right? It's almost like they're like, "Hey, we love you. We love Kyler Murray. He's a good dude and all that stuff. We're winning with Jacoby. We're looking better, right?" At 3-5, Arizona, we're still technically in it, right? But this next matchup against Seattle on Sunday is massive. It's big time. They nearly beat we nearly beat the Seahawks in the first meeting. Lost 23-20 on the last second field goal. Now we head into Lumen Field with real momentum and Jacoby steering the ship, right? So Gannon knows his division is brutal. He's not trying to make headlines. He's trying to keep his team focused, functional, and fighting. Right now, Jacoby gives him the best shot at doing just that. So what happens when Kyler's healthy again? That is the $1,000,000 question. Or should I say the $230 million question? Gannon insists Kyler's still his starter when he's healthy. But if Jacoby keeps the offense humming and he's winning games and building chemistry with guys like McBride and MHJ, you can't really yank him out mid-roll, right? And while I'm not buying the whole Call of Duty curse and the jokes floating around, around social media, which by the way, cut it out. Come up with something new. That's old jokes for real. As much fun as they were when we made them in the first place, now it's just dumb. But I do think that this is a defining moment for college future in Arizona. If Jacoby continues to win, the front office is going to have real conversations about next season's direction, right? Not saying Jacoby's a starter moving forward in the next few years, because he's done the same thing everywhere else he went. He came in, spelled the starter for 2, 3, 4 games, looked good, and then when he's handed like the confidence and the keys for the next season or whatever, he doesn't really play. You know what I mean? It's just go on YouTube, look up his past games, you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, this might be the end of the Kyler Murray era. Sure, we're at the halfway point of the season. He definitely has to time to come back, but we were told he was going to play against Dallas, and now we won't see him for at least 4 weeks, maybe longer, right? Me thinks there's way more to the story than we're being told, but I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later, because as much as Gannon likes to hide things and not let us know and kind of keep everyone in the dark, as the rest of the team does, you find out sooner or later. And when we watch the game on the field, we'll know. We'll know. One thing I want to talk about here, because I was just super, super happy with the way the rookies played in this game against Dallas. Is it too early to say that Monty killed it in his last draft? Because the young boys balled out against the Cowboys, and I think we really need to talk about it. Rookie defensive tackle Walter Nolan III made his NFL debut against Dallas, and let's just say the kid lived up to the hype. He didn't just play; he made an impact early and often in key moments to help seal the biggest win of the season so far. Now, this wasn't one of those run-of-the-mill. He wasn't one of those how do I put it? Run-of-the-mill rookie getting garbage time reps. He played when it mattered, right? Nolan was Arizona's first-round pick, number 16 overall, I think it was, out of Ole Miss. Consensus All-American, Senior Bowl standout, and one of the top interior defensive linemen in the entire class. I mean, people were wondering how he felt at 16. Attitude issues was supposedly what we were saying and everything. Okay, worked out for us, right? They said the same thing about Will Johnson in the second round. I'll talk about him here in a second. But here's the thing. His career didn't even start when the season did. That calf injury kept him out until Monday night. And he had until midseason. He had to wait until midseason? Monday night? Yeah, midseason, yeah. So, look, this game against Dallas wasn't just a debut. It was a comeback for him, right? It was Walter Nolan saying, hey, I'm here now. Let's do this, right? I mean, he dominated Tyler Smith, the guard. And he smoked Javonte Williams in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. And, for your first career stat in the NFL is not bad. Throughout the night, he looked like a guy who belonged, who had been there before, right? Strong hands, great leverage, a violent get off. He wasn't just clogging lanes; he was wrecking plays. It was dope, right? At one point, he even chased down CeeDee Lamb, right? Which is wild to see. Number 97, big ass 197, chasing down CeeDee Lamb from behind. You don't see that happen. He's 310-pound defensive tackle. They don't do that. They don't chase anybody down, right? They stay in their little box. But in the third quarter, he got his first batted pass, showing the awareness. He just looked really good all over the place. It was dope. So what does this mean going forward? Simple. I think the Cardinals just found their next defensive cornerstone. Calais came on the twilight of his career. This defense has been missing that dominant interior force since you could say Corey Peters, I guess. But Walter Nolan looks like the guy who could fill that void, maybe even surpass it. So, it was nice to see that coaches didn't rush him back and let him heal and learn. And they get rewarded with the guy who can collapse pockets, who can stop the run and energize that defense for the next decade. And hey, in a season where the Cardinals have been searching for long-term answers, watching your first-round pick dominate on Monday Night Football, yeah, it's kind of performance that reminds fans why patience sometimes pays off. Walter Nolan's not just part of the rebuild, he's the foundation, right? Now let's get some love to the underrated storylines from the Monday night win. Will Johnson, rookie corner. Arizona's second-round pick out of Michigan. He fell down in the second round because of injury concerns. Clearly it don't matter, because this kid came into the league with serious credentials, right? National championship MVP, multiple All-American honors, and the kind of resume that screams instant impact. But heading into this week, Johnson wasn't even sure if he was going to play, right? He was dealing with the groin issue again. He was questionable with it, and then he went out there and put clamps on some of the NFL's best receivers and Pickens. George Pickens. I think he played against CeeDee Lamb a couple times too, but he matched him most of the night with Pickens. Top 10 wideout in the league. Johnson held him to just 2 catches for 28 yards in the first half and 79 total yards with zero touchdowns. That's not luck. That is technique, discipline, film work, and just straight up implementing your will on your opponent. And when the game was on the line late in the fourth quarter, Johnson made one of the biggest plays of the night, teaming up with Cody Simon, the linebacker, also rookie, to force a fumble on running back Javonte Williams that sealed the win for Arizona. This kid played nearly every snap, I think, right? Coming off the injury in prime time against one of the NFL's most explosive offenses, or one of the better ones anyway. That's veteran level poise from a rookie, which is dope, right? Nolan was the star in the trenches. Johnson was the lockdown on the island. The Cardinals might have found their next franchise corner, and he's already making his presence felt. I'm getting me a Will Johnson jersey ASAP. I'm telling you that right now. Speaking of Cody Simon, fourth pick out of Ohio State, workhorse on special teams. Played 78% of the snaps on Monday night because we lost Mac Wilson got hurt, and so he had to go in and spell him, and just in time delivering that stripped because Will Johnson, right, wrapped up Williams, and Simon went for the ball, stripped it, boom, clean out. We got it, stopping the drive, comeback stopped, win sealed, really. That's kind of hustle and awareness that doesn't show up on the stat sheet but wins football games. Simon might not be a household name just yet, but plays like that's how you earn trust from the coaches, teammates, and the fans, right? He's proving he's more than just a special teams guy. He's a difference maker. The kind of player who brings energy, speed, and game-changing moments when it matters the most. Cody Simon, remember the name. And honestly, my favorite player the entire night, Denzel Burke. What is there to say about Denzel Burke? He made plays everywhere, and he iced the game. He shut down CeeDee Lamb when it absolutely mattered, called game with the game sealing it. With the game sealing interception. Dude, the rookie's balled out, folks. It is what it is. It's going to be dope. I want to see Burke develop and maybe be one of in our rotation of top 5 corners in our team. Maybe a top 3. Right now it's Will Johnson. Max Melton went out with a concussion issue, so we'll see if he's even going to play. If he doesn't, I can see Burke getting start. Okay, maybe not start, but he'll get a lot more snaps. We got Garrett Williams back who balled out as well. Looking at Will Johnson, Garrett Williams as the starting corners, we're definitely going to see Burke in there quite a bit, especially after what he did in Dallas. So that was dope. All right, one more thing to talk about here, folks, before we call it a show, call it a day, because I know y'all got to get to what y'all got to do. Inactivity at the deadline, that bothered me. Trade deadline week is buzzing across the NFL. Ended on Tuesday. Teams were loading up, making splash moves, rehashing playoff hopes and all that. Meanwhile, we did nothing. No blockbuster addition, not even a little depth move, nothing. No deadline trade surprise. That alone kind of sends a message, and I'm wondering what it is, because is why is it significant that we didn't do anything? Because it says one of two things, and it maybe says both, right? The front office believes the roster can win as is, and you can make a case that it can, right? They're already pivoting to next year and not chasing the season heavily. Maybe that's the other thing, right? With the team sitting at 3-5 after a statement win over the Dallas Cowboys, you expect some urgency, but by not pulling the trigger on a trade, Arizona say we're confident in the chemistry and health of the squad. Or they're saying we're not going all in right now. We're just gonna tread water till next season. Either narrative is interesting, but if it's confidence, fine, because the offense under Jacoby looks alive, right? The defense is stirring to life. Walter, or Nolan the third stepping up. If it's caution, then we're signaling maybe that we're in the build phase and we don't want to mortgage the future. Decision gives kind of some clarity, right? Locker room knows who's in charge. Coaching staff doesn't have to integrate a new face mid-season. Cap space, draft capital, all that kind of stuff remain fluid with 26. Obviously, the Kyler Murray thing is still there, because if we cut him, that's going to kill all that cap room. But the risk is if the Cardinals falter over the next few weeks, this no move becomes a headline, right? Missed opportunity. But look, the Cardinals are flying an unspoken banner this season. We believe in us, right? If they finish strong, silence at the trade deadline will look like discipline. If they don't, it'll look like hesitation. And both of those things are on money, awesome for it, right? Bergen, stay tuned. The next few games won't just define this 2025 season. It'll define whether this is a no trade was smart or a silent regret, right? You got to wonder, because I really want a Breece Hall on this team badly, right? Even the Cowboys made freaking moves. They got Quentin Williams and the linebacker kid from out of Cincinnati, but no Trey Hendrickson movement, no Breece Hall movement. Y'all see Breece Hall's social media? He was sad because everyone else got traded but him. Sauce Gardner's a Colt, Quentin Williams is a Cowboy, and Breece Hall's like, come on guys, what about me? Unfortunately, Breece, you should have been a Cardinal, but didn't happen this time around. Maybe in the offseason. Who knows? You never know. Freaking the Jets might need a quarterback. We might just trade Kyler for Breece Hall and see what happens. You never know. All right. So we're going to do it for this episode of Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Don't forget to hit that sub. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell them to come hang out. Leave a comment. Hit the bell. Leave a like. I will see you all tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, for Comment Friday. A couple more days here till we see the Seahawks. Tomorrow we're going to talk a lot about this game for sure. Go Cardinals.